We're going to talk about Tether and what could happen and my overall thoughts, and we're going to talk about alt season, why the news is so bullish. So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new, please do subscribe, hit the bell button, like, and leave a comment. It's most important. So hope you enjoyed the live on Friday. I'm going to be doing that every Friday. I'm also going to be doing it every single Sunday evening as well. So same time as this, roughly on a Sunday evening, a look towards the future in terms of the week, weekly candles and stuff like that, and a little bit of banter on a Sunday evening while we're all chilling out looking forward to Monday. So first thing on the screen, I want to give you my honest thoughts about the Tether FUD, essentially what it kind of could mean for the market and what my overall thoughts are. Now, I believe there's a lot of people peddling some misinformation as well. Obviously some of it is true. We know there's an element of it is true. Obviously the ability that the Attorney General of the Southern District of New York can demand certain information from them to see and seek clarity that there is or is not funds. But ever since I've been in the space, since 2016, I can tell you this. There's always been a little inkling of a butt clench of Tether's right or wrongdoing in the market, in my overall opinion. It's not unnormal, it's not uncommon, it's life, it's the way it is. You got to think the normal financial institutions right now, they're a bit corrupt, aren't they? It's like anything, even in crypto. Tether, is it a bit corrupt? Maybe, but we don't know. Will it cripple the market? No, in my opinion. That is my overall opinion. So this article here was written by Crypto Anonymous 2021. It's probably derived from a number of accounts that have been doing this kind of FUD for the last 6 months, probably because they're a bit salty that they missed the dip. But in my opinion, when you see the total market cap exploding on Tether, it's because of demand. It's not because of irregular prints, it's because of demand. Every single altcoin that is growing because of this as well. Every single stable coin that is also an ERC20 is also growing in market cap. It's not this growing versus everything else. It is growing with the market demand and people wanting to buy it. That's the thing. There's all kinds of weird stuff. I'm not going to go over this document, but I want to give you my honest thoughts. There is a USDC coin. There is a Binance stable currency. This Paco standard. There's multiple different elements of stable currency. There's the DAI as well, which is obviously using collateral against Ethereum. It's much better to move your money. My overall element, and I want to put this in full written English in voice note for you, is I use USDC. I have done for a long time. I only use Tether on exchanges because it's the most liquid. Tether is going to be the most volume metric on the market because it's the biggest and it connects to the most pairs on the most exchanges. That does not mean it's dodgy, that just means it's used a lot. Yes, there is some little things that need ironed out, but will it cripple the market? No. What will happen if this does cripple the market? Well, in my opinion, if this goes, it goes. There's other replacements for it. What will people do when they exit Tether? They will exit into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even another stable currency on a click of a button. So it's a very, very simple switch. It's very, very simple. Yes, there will be problems if something goes drastically wrong, but I don't think there will be just yet. If there is something drastically wrong, well, we've had worse situations in the world of Bitcoin. So moving on to the gearing up of media hype and alt season. Essentially, we're pretty much there. I want to explain the dominance chart towards the end of this video to show you Bitcoin is here to stay, says former US Treasury Secretary Larry Summers. Looks like a nice guy, probably share a good pint with him, but at the same time, he is obviously said as a well-known man in a space of like the US Treasury, saying that it's here to stay is a big thing. That was on the Bloomberg Wall Street talking about it. And that is like, it's important to get these key figures in government or expositions in government talking in a positive light with the likes of Tether FUD kicking around, with the likes of the China mining crisis, with all kinds of weird stuff going on. Other things to obviously talk about is Ethereum. Their supply is hitting all-time lows because people want it. They're staking it. Cool. They're obviously using it for collateral as well in the ability of the DeFi lockup, which is currently, what, $24 billion right now, which is quite huge. So yeah, you can see here it's dropped from 26% down to 22% in a matter of 5 months, which means that the hodling side of it is getting bigger, and it's giving you a good element of sentiment. People are buying Ethereum because they want it. It's popular, which is key. It's popular. Doesn't mean that's good, just means it's popular, which is usually why assets are good. Supply and demand. Simple, right? That's how prices work. You can have the best altcoin in the world that is fast, it's efficient, it's scalable, but it might not be as popular as Ethereum. It might not be that one thing that you desire. It's like gold. People want gold, but it's really heavy. It's hard to transport. It's hard to verify. Bitcoin, everyone wants Bitcoin, but it's quite slow. It's a layer 1 blockchain. It's just a generation 1 blockchain, sorry, I should say, which handles 6 transactions per second, and every 10 minutes. It's really slow, but everyone wants it. It's got value for that reason. It's how humans work. So what we're seeing now, we're seeing a bit of a supply shock potentially incoming in the next coming months of Ethereum, because it's getting lower and lower. As that gets lower, demand will obviously increase that supply, because that supply is getting less and less every single day. It's important to understand that. So when you look at that and you think, well, what's it doing? It's driving the DeFi world. What's happening right now? Polkadot, mooning. Chainlink, mooning. Aave, mooning. Compound is getting more and more interest paid out. Bigger services are getting used as well. It's key. Then you got Ethereum 2.0. There's been little inklings that maybe they may be reversing their structure for the roadmap to make things come out first to handle the scalability, which could be interesting. There's not further clarification on that, but that could be happening to bring it forward a little bit into this year and not 2022. So it's very exciting to be an Ethereum holder. Personally, I hold 1 Ethereum, but I've got a plan for the future with that, so I'm not that worried overall. Moving on to the final little bit of news that we do need to talk about is a former Canadian Prime Minister names Bitcoin as a possible reserve currency. Now, this is kind of important. Now, we talk about the global pandemic, the reset of the financial infrastructure. This to be used as a reserve currency would be mega, and it would be the biggest form of acceptance, in my opinion, even if that is getting mentioned right now by former prime ministers in states that are quite pro cryptocurrency anyways, but it's an inkling of what's to come. Cryptocurrency investment from big institutions is starting to get bigger and bigger, but the acceptance that people are looking at this in a former in so much former positions but in a positive light is always key. People will listen to people in high positions. It always has happened, which is why we've got to ignore the FUD when people do say stuff, but they're often squashed in some ways because other candidates, other people will always say the opposite and, you know, kind of put people in their places. When you look at this and you think, well, it could be used as a potential reserve currency that could obviously replace the dollar in that sense, it's kind of important to understand that where we've came from as a journey to this present day. Yes, markets will go up and down and stuff like that, but it doesn't stop the use case of it. This could be the biggest hedge against inflation in future crashes and stuff like that. It's important to understand that. And stimulus coming out in the next coming months, essentially, roll out essentially of money that will weaken the dollar, just amplifies that just a little bit more, which is kind of cool. So let's finally talk about what's happening with the dominance chart. As I always say, and I know you're bored of it, and I do apologise, and if you like my stuff, please do subscribe and hit the bell button and whatnot to don't miss stuff. But this element is key. The dominance chart going down right now is the biggest thing ever. We need it to continue going down. We don't want it to find any sort of support level. We want it just to keep melting. If it keeps melting and it keeps melting and it keeps going down and we go sub 60 into the 57s and below and break this line essentially, altcoins are going to go pretty tasty, and they already are. I've already grew my portfolio by a good chunk over the last 2 weeks essentially by basically holding in altcoins and watching the Satoshi values grow. The likes of Polkadot has been on a monster run. Voyager has been on a monster run. The likes of VeChain's waking up. The likes of RSR's waking up. The likes of Zilliqa's going to go on a run again. All of these coins are growing my portfolio in Satoshis, which I'll take profit in the future, essentially coming into it. You got to be important. the factor is here, we need a bit boring Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin to stabilize and chill out, to let the altcoins run. People will buy altcoins because of profit. People will buy it because Bitcoin is therefore potentially expensive to them. It's key. This is why Ethereum is doing well. This is why Polkadot's doing well. To touch on Polkadot in terms of the growth and the economic side of it, that is a monster push. That is a monster pop. And it's important to understand that this is still, in my opinion, undervalued, considering it's been a lot higher in the past due to Bitcoin's run. So just be careful with the FOMO. But what I will say is this: if that dominance keeps trickling down and down and down, these charts are just going to keep on growing. So the market's good. Yes, there's Tether. Yes, there's all kinds of little bits and pieces. You got to get used to the idea that when the market's successful, there's always people trying to pull us down because they potentially want in the game. So just be careful. But as I say, buy low, sell high, have a plan, have an exit, and you'll be absolutely fine.